What's up, world? It's Rue, Fathers of Trucking. Rich, say hi.
Hi, world.
Rich is a little sleepy. He's tired because he drove. He's at the end of his shift.
Rich is really sleepy, and it's not just that, but we have been running our butts off.
Yeah, like crazy.
And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today.
Hell yeah. So, this was really Rich's first full week in the truck, right? Yeah. So he got in the truck on a Wednesday. Our weekend's on Friday at midnight, and then start Saturday to the next Friday. And it is currently the second Saturday you've been on the truck.
Yep. And
this week's paycheck is going to be thoroughly impressive for you. Because we drove 6,500 miles, right?
65.5?
Yeah.
Roughly?
65.50. In 7 days, with still taking a 34-hour reset for both of us.
34-hour reset and overnight at a shipper.
Oh yeah, and we sat overnight at a shipper.
And we took other random time out. Like we spent 2 hours in Vegas the other day.
And still made it on time.
Every delivery we've had, we've been early to.
And every shipper we've been early, every shipper we've been early to, when possible. And we'll give you a couple of examples. So what do we mean when we say we run hard? Well, first of all, we get 6,500 miles in a week. Our goal every single week is 5,500 or more, right? 5,500 miles. That's what we want to get.
That gives us enough money to take care of any billings that we have, any financial requirements, plus gives us a nice buffer to have for that next week. It gives us spending money, it gives us put away money,
right?
Whatever. So anything over that 5,500, like this last week, we picked up 1,000 miles over that, is like
icing on the cake.
Exactly. Icing on the cake, cherry on top.
Right.
Whatever you want to call it.
All right, so how do we do that? Well, we've already mentioned some of the things. The first thing we do is we show up to a shipper, a receiver, anyone early. Obviously, you have to know whether the shipper or receiver will allow it.
Or if it's open.
Some are a bit more strict. Amazon is like this. A couple of the car ones are pretty strict. But that should all be on your load assignment. When you get your load assignment, make sure you read it top to bottom, front to back, any additional instructions, any extra items that you need. Some require that you have more than half a tank of fuel. Some require you have a full tank of fuel. Some require that you have load locks or load straps, or that the trailer be completely cleaned. All of these are things you have to know before you get there, so that when you get there, they don't turn you away. In fact, we watched a guy get turned away at the last one because they didn't clean their trailer. I mean, they were pretty cool about it. They just said pull up and clean it out while these other guys get loaded, which was nice.
But some shippers won't let you do that.
Right, some shippers will kick you out.
They'll tell you straight up, you got to clean your trailer and then you can come back and you're probably going to have to wait to get loaded.
Right.
Well, they're not going to let you do it on their property. You got to do that. So now you got to leave that property, route yourself somewhere that you can clean it. Because you can't just pull on the side of the road. Yeah. That's littering. Cop rolls by. Even if you're going to clean it up after, he could get you for littering. That's a ticket. So.
Right. So once you get to the shipper, you should have already started your route plan. But while you're being loaded, while you're filling out your paperwork, whatever, do your route plans. Do your route plans.
Don't just blindly follow GPS either.
No, do not do that either.
It's a tool, but it's not. It shouldn't be the only thing you do.
Right. It's just like anything else. Think of it as just a moving map. That's all a GPS is. So, always have 2 points of reference, and always have at least 2 routes, just in case you hit traffic, just in case something happens and they shut down the road, accident, whatever, anything can happen. Right. And when you're planning your route, make sure that you figure out how to do it the most efficiently. For example, it looks like it. For example, when we are doing our switch out, not this first one, but when I get done with my run, we'll switch out at where we're actually doing our fuel solution, where we're getting fuel, and we'll go ahead and do our fuel, go ahead and eat, maybe take a shower, and then do our switch out and do our pre-trip all in the same spot. So that way you're not stopping 4, 5, 6 times in a night or in a day.
Yeah, we have a pretty good
schedule.
Schedule, a pretty good method of how we do it. You know,
right.
Like we've only been doing this together for a week and a half, but Rue had something in place before. We haven't really modified it too much what he did, but you follow that schedule, and we typically take no more than an hour when we're doing a big switch out like that.
Yeah, and that includes all of that. So it can be done. Even if you take an hour and a half, if you minimize your stops, you're making up all that time on the other end. And oh, here's a tip: when you do your route plan, when you do your estimate ETA and how long it's going to take you, base everything on 50 miles an hour. 50 miles an hour. That will build in that extra time that you need for your switch out, for any emergency stops you have to make, for whatever.
And then also, along with that, when you give your ETA, something that we've been doing, adding another hour. Use that 50 mile an hour reference. We add an hour or 2 onto it, so long as the deadline isn't before that.
Right.
Because obviously, if your deadline's this time and if it's realistic for you,
make that deadline.
Then make that deadline. But if you got a deadline that's a day or 2 out and you know you're going to get there early, put in what you're going to get there plus an hour or 2.
Right.
Because that'll give you a little bit more buffer too.
So here's a prime example, right? On our last video, we talked about we were coming out of Colorado. We are incredibly heavy, but we knew that we would get to Kentucky a day early. So we sent in, whenever we sent in the macros and sent in the paperwork, we said, hey, we're going to arrive a day early. Is it okay if we drop early? So then the next day, when we woke up, I sent in another message. I asked our DM if we could drop the load early, and she said, you can't drop the load early, but you can drop the trailer nearby and get another load, which is exactly what we did. Which actually brings us to our next subject. If the number is listed and you don't have anything saying that you can't, go ahead and call the shipper or receiver. Tell them when you're going to be there and ask if they have any tips, any special instructions, anything that you need to know prior to you getting there, so that way it's not crazy when you show up and you actually have everything that you need.
Yep, that is typically a quick in and out. Like
right.
You may be ahead of schedule, and they might be fine with it.
Exactly.
You may pick up a load that was supposed to be there yesterday, but it just got assigned to you today. You know, so of course they're going to want it as soon as possible. Exactly.
And also, on that same subject, if you call the shipper or receiver and they don't answer, that does not mean that they are closed. We went through that right after on what Friday morning, Thursday night.
2 days ago.
Thursday night. We had called the shipper's number. It apparently goes to multiple warehouses, and the first warehouse said, "Well, we are closed, but the other one may not be." And so we said, "Great, what does that mean?" And so what we did, right? We did two things here. One, we went ahead and looked at our route plan and saw where the closest place was that we could park. And two, we called wherever that place was that we were going to park. This happened to be a casino and a hotel. And we said, "Hey, we're going to have a tractor trailer. We may wind up having to spend 10 hours here. Do you mind if we come into your parking lot?" And they said, "No, actually, we encourage it. We have another place for you guys to park next door."
Yep. So we had a place to go.
We did have a place to go.
Before we went there, though, we still went out to that shipper,
Exactly.
just to make sure, because it was only 10 minutes away, the place we were going to park, the casino. But we went there anyways to see if we could park there or that they were open. And guess what?
They were open. We actually walked in, talked to the security guard, and he said, "Hey, you guys were actually supposed to be here, what, 8 hours ago?" And we said, "Yeah, we know. We just got the load assignment 2 hours ago." And he said, "Oh, well, they're waiting on you. Go ahead and go and pull into the dock over there." And we said, "Okay then."
Yeah.
So this was, what, 7:30 at night? Almost 8 o'clock at night? Oh, I guess we better hurry up.
Yep, I guess so.
Anyway, I think that's everything we've got. Oh, with that, also knowing when your deadlines are, if you can make it to somewhere before the end of your week, that means that load will go on to the next paycheck, right? The very next paycheck that you have. So this week, we will have north of $1,000 take home. I'm going to have a little bit more than Rich will because I still have some residual back pay stuff that they owe me, but and some reimbursements. But other than that, we're going to be making a lot of money.
That was some win right there.
Yeah, man. All right, Rich, you got anything else to add?
I don't think so.
I think we hit everything.
Yeah. Just keep your head down, you know.
Keep moving.
Keep moving, and then when it's time to rest, rest.
Yeah.
Because like we were just saying when we started this, I'm tired.
Yeah.
And I mean, it will take a lot out of you, but you know what? It's super rewarding.
Yep. All right. Stay safe. Stay fit. We'll talk to you guys later.